The favourites in this many years ago, and I got too wrapped up in the occasion and basically ended up riding a bad race. You have to be cool and calm, champ, don't you?
You do. Look, Native River, Bristol, couldn't agree. This is going to be a properly fast-run race. You know, you only have to look at the way they're walking around at the start. But as Mick says, I think Little Log should have a good position where he is down the inside. He's got enough pace to travel and hold his position. But yeah, it's going to be a properly fast-run race.
People having to wait patiently. Big crowd. Every vantage point taken at Kempton Park for the race, won by so many steeple-chasing greats. And this year contains some of the most popular horses in training. 3-1, as I say, Might Bite. 4 waiting patiently for Ruth Jefferson. What a day for her. 5 Native River. 5 Politolog. 15-2 Bar. And with the call on the Christmas racing highlight, our big race commentator, Richard Hoyles.
So the field is set, talking can stop, action can start for the 32 red King George VI, the second most prestigious chase in the calendar, the second leg of the £1 million bonus, which Bristol de May could potentially still land after his victory in the Betfair chase. There is Robbie Supple, former rider, calling them in. Keep an eye on Double Shuffle, who's slightly out to the left. I think we saw that Politolog was getting a little bit warm in the preliminaries, but he sets them on their way. And the crowd send them away with a cheer. Coney Gree knows only one way to go and front run. Native River's just being nudged along to try and get a spot. See Richard Johnson on the inside, also with the noseband. Wants to be handy, but Coney Gree's setting a brisk gallop with Thistlecrack prominent. Double Shuffle as well as we arrive at the first. Bristol de May are coming together with Thistlecrack, and his rider went left, then went right, but stayed in the plate. Might Bite settles behind the lead. What a bit of a foray for the early lead here, and Coney Gree leads. Might Bite settles down in second place. Native River had to work to get into third. Thistlecrack in third place as well up on the outside. They dispute that position. Bristol de May back on an even keel after that collision at the first, with Double Shuffle next. Politolog settles on the inside. That's the second of the greys in the yellow colours, with Clan Deso, Beau, T for 2, and waiting patiently, living up to his name at his first try at the trip, his last of all. So Coney Gree out in front, previous Gold Cup winner, leading from Might Bite, previous winner of this race, along with Thistlecrack and Native River. 2 King George winners, 2 Gold Cup winners in the first 4. An idea of the quality of the field. Bristol de May in 5th place with Double Shuffle in 6th on the outside. Politolog next from Clan des Beau, waiting patiently, and T for 2 as we meet the second of the fences moving down the side of the race. It's Coney Gree from Might Bite. They're all over well enough. Native River once again just gave Bristol de May a budge, and Bristol de May's had a couple of cannons into the early stages here as we reach the open ditch. This is the second of the ditches. Coney Gree is over in front. Might Bite adopting a good position in second place. Thistlecrack is in third. Bristol de May, Native River still just pushed along. It's happening fast enough for him at this stage at least. Stamina his strong suit. Yellow sleeves, jumps well, but still slightly to the left. Then Double Shuffle. Politolog quietly ridden. Clan des Beau, T for 2, and waiting patiently. So we're now getting into some sort of rhythm. The field only covered by 8 to 10 lengths. The pace is a decent one, but not completely frenetic. And that's because Native River hasn't really been able to press Coney Gree at this point, and Coney Gree's got a solo on the front end. Might Bite well positioned in second place. Thistlecrack on the outside of Native River. Bristol de May in 5th place with Double Shuffle. Then Clan des Beau, Politolog waiting patiently, and T for 2. So turning back towards the line of fences up the home straight, Coney Gree will arrive at the next in the lead. Might Bite, a nice rhythm up on the outside in second. Thistlecrack is in third. Native River and Bristol de May the next 2. Double Shuffle, last year's runner-up at a big price, towards the outside as Coney Gree leads them up the home straight. Coney Gree over in the lead, all jumping economically. Bristol de May in midfield, just drifting back a place or 2. They're tightly grouped as they head up the home straight. A place or 2. They're tightly grouped as they head up the home straight. This will be a last in the circuit's time. Coney Gree out in front from Might Bite, who sailed over that. Oh, and now Bristol de May's got it all rolled down, waiting patiently. Drama, waiting patiently, a thump of the turf from down. Brian Hughes is distraught on the ground. A major impact to this race at the halfway stage. Bristol de May out of the race, and back to this race at the halfway stage. Bristol de May out of the race and brings down waiting patiently. And all of a sudden the field is thinned out. Coney Gree leads the turn away from the stands. Both horses, both jockeys are up okay as we head down towards halfway. Drama as Coney Gree leads. Now in second, Thistlecrack. Might Bite on the outside with Native River, now trying to find his rhythm between the pair. Clan des Beau, Double Shuffle, then Politolog And T for 2 at the back. Koenigree jumped that well. Thistlecrack didn't. Just jumped slightly out to the left. The first semblance of a mistake for him. It's Koenigree who leads. Native River being pushed up now to try and come and have a share of second place, but Mike Boss at the moment he is sharing third with Thistlecrack. Then Politolog, who now sidles closer on the inside of Clan des Obeaux. Double shuffle, and back of the pack remains T for 2. So Koenigree leads the 8 that remain towards the 7th last in the 32 red King George of 2018. It's Koenigree out on the front end for Sean Bowen. Still poised, Mike Bites had a lovely passage through the race in second. Thistlecrack on the inside. Native River has forced Richard Johnson to work most steps of the way and rises in a share of third. Then Clan des Obeaux as Thistlecrack is pushed along. Then double shuffle. Politolog all of a sudden has moved to the back of the field but is still in touch. Mike Bite moving to Koenigree. Thistlecrack asked up on the inside and produces a good leap as well. Native River's getting outpaced, and this time it may be too late as well. Native River's getting outpaced, and this time it may be too late for him to get back into it. He is ridden along. Clan des Obeaux comes up as well. Thistlecrack and Koenigree, the two rolling back the years in the King George. Mike Bite next. Clan des Obeaux running a mighty race. Politolog now getting back involved. Native River next, then T for 2, 4 from the finish. Koenigree, Thistlecrack and Mike Bite towards the outside. Then Clan des Obeaux as they head towards the turn, and Thistlecrack nips up the inner of Koenigree. Mike Bite is pushed along. Then Clan des Obeaux and Thistlecrack it is who will lead the turn back towards home in the King George. Clan des Obeaux shadows him through. Then Koenigree and Mike Bite, but it's Thistlecrack heading towards the third last in the King George. Clan des Obeaux in second. Mike Bite's 3 lengths down. Then Politolog heading towards the third last. Clan des Obeaux trying to launch a challenge at Thistlecrack. They are in the air quietly on the outside of Thistlecrack. Then back in third place, Politolog, Mike Bite and Native River are beaten 2 from the finish. Thistlecrack ekes out Bite and Native River are beaten 2 from the finish. Thistlecrack ekes out half a length. Clan des Obeaux still sitting alongside Harry Cobden, waiting patiently as they head down towards the last. Thistlecrack in the orange, Clan des Obeaux in the nosebag. They will be in the air together, and it's Clan des Obeaux who jumps to the lead in the King George and begins to pull away from Thistlecrack. Native River running on when it's all over, but a new name on the King George Roll of Honour. Clan des Obeaux for Harry Cobden, and a 10th King George for Paul Nicholls. In second place, Thistlecrack gave his all. Native River, it happened too fast. Politolog next. Then in 5th place, double shuffle T for 2. Mike Bite well beaten again as some of the loose horses, which include Koenigree, who's come down in the closing stages. He gallops riderless past the stands. Clan des Obeaux, Harry Cobden always thought that he had the measure of Thistlecrack. It was Colin Tizard that gave Harry Cobden his first chance as a young rider. He's now with Paul Nicholls, and for once he is aboard a King George winner for Paul. Number 10 for him. Clan des Obeaux wins the King George.
In a King George that was dramatic from the off. Your heart goes out to Ruth Jefferson and waiting, patiently brought down, but it turned into a duel in the straight, AP.
Yeah, it did. Thistlecrack ran a mighty race again, but Clan des Obeaux obviously improved from his run when he finished 4th up in Haydock, and look, Paul Nicholls winning 10 King Georges, unbelievable training performance for a trainer to have 10 King George winners, and an improving 6-year-old. But there's a lot of question marks to be answered. The likes of Mike Bite, Native River was always going to be up against it round here, but Mike Bite especially, there's
always rated this horse. Sir Alex Ferguson, I wonder where he is today. He's a proud owner of this.
He will be loving it. Sir Alex Ferguson shares the horse with Mr. and Mrs. Barber, Jed Mason as well. They've won the King George with Clan des Obeaux, 10 for Paul Nicholls, and 1 King George with Clan des Obeaux, 10 for Paul Nicholls, and 1 King George for Harry Cobden.
We're just going to have a word with Paul Nicholls, who's making. There's a bum fight here. Paul Nicholls is there. Let's grab a quick word with Paul Nicholls. The owners are coming in. Clan des Obeaux has given him a 10th King George. Paul, can we just get a reaction from you? That was brilliant.
Yeah, just make sure these are just